What's up, everyone? Today's tarot video, we will be diving into how do others describe you? And just keep in mind that we are dealing with the realms of the perceptions of other people. So even though you know yourself more intimately, more than most people walking this planet, you know yourself most intimately. However, you'll still feel if this applies to you, because sometimes we can get glimpses, we can know how we're showing up, and we get, people will tell us and people will validate or describe us in certain ways. And you probably have noticed patterns throughout your incarnation of how others perceive you overall. So I'm expecting uplifting messages regardless. That's just kind of tends to be the realms that I exist within and the type of people and the energies that are drawn to my channel. Some really powerful bomb-ass souls tune into these. So thank you for being here. Let's just get right into it. There's 4 piles to choose from today. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. I've been checking out random number generators to help select pick a cards when I'm engaging online, and honestly it has taken a lot of stress away from me, and I'll just go in with the intention of, okay, Spirit, what's the highest message for me? And it's pretty accurate, and again removes my mind and my kind of anxiety around picking the right pile, kind of removes that from me. So someone may have needed to hear that. All right, let's get into this reading. All right, what's up, pile number 1? I'm going to start by, I have all of your cards pre-shuffled. I haven't looked at any of them yet. Sometimes when I shuffle, they'll flip over and I'll get glimpses. But just so you know, I have about 3 tarot cards. I think 3 tarot cards came out for each pile. So 2 for this deck and 1 from this, which is a really interesting pattern. But I'm going to start with the oracles. They say oracles are like the dish overall, and the tarot are like the details, the seasonings, etc. So let's start with these angel and ancestor cards. So how do others describe you? First, we have the sun. Enjoy success and happiness. So, this is very parallel to the sun card in traditional tarot. Right away, people see you as extremely bright. People see you as a very warm individual to be around. They would describe you this way to other people. They would say how you're just someone that naturally radiates and you just exude such positivity. They would describe you as being very optimistic overall. Even when things are going bad, it's like you're one of those, or going bad, right? You're one of those beings that when shit's hitting the fan and when it can be really easy to slip into a pessimistic mindset for many people, you tend to be that person that gives life and reality the benefit of the doubt, and people as well. All right, I just want to make sure the microphone was on, because that's how you know. That's how I know. I'm like, ooh, these messages are going to be good. I want to make sure I'm getting all of this. So yeah, you exude and radiate such brilliance, and people would describe you as someone that kind of nourishes everything that is in front of your path, or everything that you walk by on your path. I'm literally seeing someone walking down like a dirt path in like this beautiful meadow, and things are just flourishing as you walk by. Like even when things were kind of dead and dull, you could take someone's day who's having like a pretty bad day or a negative day or whatever, and you could completely turn it around just by means of your energy and what you radiate. You're a very positive individual. So yeah, they would describe you as being very successful. They would describe you as being someone who's genuinely happy. And I'm hearing too that you are genuinely happy and successful. You appear this way to other people because you are kind of exploring the realms of what success and happiness looks like for you. So you kind of live on your own terms, right? The sun just shines just for the pure fact of shining, and doesn't need a reason. And so I feel like you are an individual where beings are, yeah, wow. Like, oh, got these type of people tuned into my channel. I'm gonna like make that mean that I'm doing something good or something. I don't know. But this, honestly, you guys, is such powerful and beautiful energy. Like, I want to be around it just tuning into this. But yeah, people would describe you as being someone who's like genuinely very successful and very happy, because you kind of live life on your own terms, and I feel like you don't really, you don't look externally to kind of dictate where you're going. That's not to say that you won't have doubts or whatever. But again, this is how people see you. People see you as someone that creates their own path and paves their own way and does their own thing. So moving on to the next oracle card, we have Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. So yeah, kind of building off the message that we already have. People just see you as someone that just like has you seem like you exist within the realms of magic. Like you have, people see you as having like a lot of power, and people, you make everything you do look very easy, and people feel like you're kind of tuned into something, like you know the secrets of life, or you know something about life that makes other people feel like they are missing out on. And again, this is me just like tuning into what the messages are, but it seems like you know things that most people don't, like you have the secrets of life. And so overall what I'm getting is that I'm just tuning into a group that very old souls tuning into this, beings that kind of understand, you know, how to work the realms of the physical plane on earth, right? You know how to work the magic of this plane of reality. Also, before I forget, because Spirit keeps drawing my awareness to this, we have the flower of life showing up above her head, and then the flower of life pattern is all around the sun here too. So again, it's like you understand the nature of this reality down to like you can intuit the fabric of reality. So naturally, even before, you know, we learn manifestation principles or whatever, it seems like you naturally are just like, well, I'm magical and magic comes on my path because I naturally understand the name of the game. And you know, why would I want to add more negativity to an already uncomfortable situation? Might as well, you know, try to extract the juice from it. So you very intuitively understand how reality works. And I feel like people would describe you as someone who just gets it. And they would describe you as like, they would, like I'm hearing people say like this person just gets it. Like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they know the things that they know, but when other people come to you for advice, you very easily pinpoint like the underlying dynamics of things, even if you don't know all the components involved. Like you're very psychic, you're very tuned in, even if you wouldn't use those words to describe yourself. This is how other people are describing you, right? Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of energy, universal energy on your side that is just brings so much bounty and abundance to you. And, you know, we'll kind of confirm this later on throughout tarot, but even if you've been through a lot, like people see you, like you don't get set back very easily. Like it takes a lot to knock you down. And even when you're knocked down, you rise back up even higher. So the last thing too that I'm seeing is, I'm seeing this woman as like giving this cup, and then she has one of her hands open to receive. So it just seems like, again, you're very intuitively led, by the laws, the spiritual laws that govern this this plane of existence. You know, I'm just hearing the law of equal give and take, and putting out what you want to receive, etc. And it doesn't feel like it's conceptual. Like it feels like you really are embodying these principles because you truly know what it takes and what it requires to be truly happy. And so it's like you don't want things to tether you down. You don't want hate or resentment or unforgiveness to tether you down. So naturally you're living by the golden rule. Naturally you want to extend to others what it is that you wish to receive, and vice versa. So yeah, that's how people would describe you. Very fair, very equanimous, very equal. Even though a lot of people, I feel like, put you on this high pedestal, they see you as the sun, right? But it's like one of the reasons why you have so much magic and people love being around you so much is because you don't see yourself as being above them in any way. You're very humble. So the last oracle card we have is Divine Purpose, which I'm not surprised. You seem like an individual that is extremely tuned into what it is you're here for. Again, we have a lot of extremely spiritual energies coming through this deck. So you are like the High Priestess. You are, or the Hierophant if you are a male watching this. Also, you might see a lot of synchronicities, rainbows, or like prisms, like, you know, things hitting crystals in a weird way or hitting something in a weird way, and you look up and you just see like a rainbow somewhere, or like you see double rainbows. Or I just get that you're very in tune with divine flow, and you're very in tune with the synchronicities and the little ways that the universe and spirit communicates to you. You are very devoted to something higher than yourself. So, that's one of the reasons why, this is how other people describe you. Like, you seem like someone that is so in tune to something so much bigger that's one of the reasons why people can't really touch you. It's like they would describe you as like, this person is on a mission. This person knows what they're here for. This person is so bright because they can tell, they can intuit, even if they wouldn't know the words to describe this, they know that you're sourcing your sense of security and your sense of confidence from something that is much bigger and much greater than any one human alone, right? And we all have that power and that magic within. Again, we all have access to that, but it's very clear. People understand, they don't know exactly how you do it, but they understand you have a very strong connection to spirit. You have a very strong ability to tune into your spiritual self and your higher self. And so they're really feeling that connection to your higher self, which both of these kind of exude and convey. Your crown is wide open. You're really receiving a divine influx of higher energies. You're very, very in tune, man. You've done this before, right? I did see a few other cards and the other piles flip over, but these readings, I know for the majority of these piles, I'm also dealing with those individuals that would resonate as being a starseed. So individuals that have not just incarnated on planet Earth, because, this pile, just based off the few that flipped over when I was doing these readings, it's like, people see most of these beings that are at least drawn to my channel, at least this reading, as being out of this world. It's like people are like, this person is literally an angel or an actual god, an actual goddess. You are just so ahead of your years, and you've probably heard that for most of your life as well. So let's finish up with the tarot. What else do we have? So we have the Two of Cups and we have the Three of Swords. I'm just going to start with reading this one. You do have one more tarot card, but ultimately you're really good at creating connections. And again, when I see the Two of Cups, it's like very equal type of connection. You manifest relationships really quickly. People want to be in relationship with you. People see you as an ideal partner, the way that people would describe you, depending on what you're interested in romantically, in terms of gender, etc., or lack thereof, whatever. I don't know these days, but I hope that works. Sorry, let's just tune that. People, whatever you're, 11:11. So whatever you're interested in, like sexually, romantically, those beings find you extremely attractive. People would describe you as the perfect partner. People will describe you as the perfect friend. However that looks, it's like, the right things to say, how to comfort people in a way that brings them into their power and doesn't make it feel like you're talking down to someone or you're condescending to someone, or that what is good for someone on their path. You just are very reassuring of people having the power within, because you are very self-sourced. So naturally you want to remind other people of that too, because ultimately, in our own ways, when you are connected to your divine purpose, it's going to manifest itself differently, but ultimately all of our divine purpose is very similar, and it's to walk each other home. It's to remind each other that we have God within. We have that spark of God within. This also reminds me of like the solar plexus, and this also reminds me of, I believe it's called the Agni, and like Indian philosophy or like Eastern philosophy, that is, the seat of the soul, essentially. And that's why that plexus, the plexus area and the sacral area is very much so honored. That's where we house our sacred fire. Actually, the navel is the point from which the 72,000 nadis, so little energy channels, stream away from. So you just seem like someone who really, really knows what they're here for, right? And essentially that just means when you're really tuned into what you're here for, your physical vessel is working properly. You probably take care of yourself very well. People that would describe you as attractive, like very magnetic. It's like you're on point in all the areas of your life, and doesn't, again, mean you're going to slip out, etc. But people would describe you as really like knowing what you're here for and having your shit together. So again, just to move on and get to the Three of Swords, people to, I feel like you break hearts easily, not because you are malicious in any way. It's because you move on quickly. You extract the lessons quickly. You understand someone like you, I just feel like it's here to touch a lot of people in a lot of ways. No weirdness or pun intended at all, but sorry. Y'all probably wouldn't have even caught on to that if I just kept my motherfucking mouth shut. But I am an 11-year-old boy at heart, I feel, in mind, I mean. So you're here to touch the lives of many people. And I feel like, you know, this is one thing that I'm aware of happens as an advanced soul. We don't stick around very long. We extract the lessons. We're here to learn. And for the most part, it's like, yeah, you're going to learn while you're here on earth, but ultimately you are a teacher. Ultimately, you are here to be a guide for other people. And, you know, part of the ways that we guide and awaken one another to where we might still be giving our power away is in like intimate relationships and even friendships, right? So it seems like you're probably an individual that you have no problem cutting people off. Like you protect your happiness and your peace above all else, right? And so you know, you don't see it as negative when you have to cut someone off, right? Because you have very expanded levels of perception. You understand that we're all here to be reflections of each other. It's all good at the end of the day. Our higher selves are like, high five, fuck yes. We're all learning, we're growing, we're getting the reflections we need. It's like things just like roll off of you. It's like you, again, that came through earlier. People would describe you as someone that they're not down for long, and it seems like nothing can take you down, and people would describe you as someone that would probably break their heart just because they see you as so bright. And so you bring up a lot of worthiness things for people. And let's be real, if we're on the planet, we all have it, right, to varying degrees, but it seems like you've done a lot of work on yourself throughout the lifetimes, and especially this lifetime. So congratulations, man, you're a motherfucking rock star. Yeah, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So people would describe you as having it all, being it all, extremely abundant. I mean, this completely reiterates the Sun card and the Magic Guardian card and Divine Purpose. The way this is actually lining up is I see the 10 of Pentacles is sitting underneath the Divine Purpose. So I feel like you, you know, people would describe you as someone who, like an entrepreneur and someone that has done a lot for themselves, and people will describe you as someone who's going somewhere, probably throughout your entire life. People always see you on to the next thing. Like it's hard to keep track of what you're doing, and it's like once you have kind of mastered one thing and solidified yourself as being really good in one area, it's like, all right, I'm on to the next thing. That was fun. And you're also like a jack of all trades and a master of many. I don't want to say master of none. It seems like you're very masterful of many things because you're calling upon the gifts and the tools and the talents from all types of lifetimes, from all different lifetimes. So ultimately, like, I don't even see very many negative things, you know, of course, because you don't see negative things. So I feel like other people feel this too. Like other people, even if they wanted to say something negative, like ultimately they would understand it's because of their own insecurity. So it's like, why even bother? They just like won't engage with your field, right? But people see you as having it all, as being very successful, being very abundant, and people would describe you as going somewhere and being very successful. They already see your success, whether or not it's in your physical reality or not. I'm hearing that you're already getting glimpses of it and getting glimpses and confirmation of your potential all the time, right? You're just so in tune, you're so aware, and this is how people would describe you. And yeah, you have a lot of magic within for sure, and you help unlock that. You know, that's the main thing people feel around you. They're like, this is just someone that you just feel so good around. Like they unlock something within me. Like I feel like anything is possible when I'm around this person. Very powerful soul, very, very beautiful energies. Thank you so much for being here and being part of my channel and just, you know, contributing to the planet in such an authentic and beautiful and gracious way. Just know that I have about a year's worth of other tarot videos on my primary channel. I decided to split channels, move just tarot and divination to this one. So check that out in the description box. I am offering personal readings at this time, and do know that I also offer spiritual mentorship and a new coaching program, a 5-week coaching program in particular. And we can use divination tools with or without divination tools. All that's in the description box. And I hope I see you guys soon. What's up, pile number 2? We're gonna jump right into your reading. I have not looked at any of your cards yet. Sometimes I flip over when I'm shuffling, but I don't really tune in when I see that. I try to flip them over quickly. But just so you know, we have 2 oracles today came up for you guys, and we had 3 tarot cards come up for every pile. 2 from this deck and 1 from this deck. It was a really interesting pattern that naturally happened. So we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna start off with how people would describe you with this Angel and Ancestors card. So first we have summer, bask in joy and light. I'm already getting very similar energies from pile one, just from the first cards that popped up in each one. This is going to be very similar, at least this intro of how people would describe you to others. People describe you as someone, I heard, they mind their own business. You mind your own business. That's because people see you as being someone that is completely in their own motherfucking lane. It's like you are doing your own thing to an extent that, you know, I believe it's Teal Swan where she broke down FOMO in such a beautiful way. And it's, you know, pretty much what I've been teaching on my main channel about, you know, what it means to be in your own lane. Like competition and, you know, comparison become non-existent when you really understand that you are in your own lane and that no one could ever compete with you because you come here with a very specific mission, a very specific blueprint. And when you're aligned with that, there's like, what are you fearful of missing out on? Like you're literally watching the life of your dreams manifest before your eyes. So people definitely describe you as someone who minds their own business because because you're tapped in. You're extremely tapped in. I mean, we have bask in joy and light. These energies are so beautiful, and so similar. So if you're coming from pile one, or if you were drawn to that pile two, I wouldn't be surprised. These are very similar of, you know, you just radiate such beautiful energy. People just cannot help but be around you. You also have, it's funny that we have a bee come up because you have like the opposite of hive mind. So on one hand, like, you know, bees are very much so about their community and about coming together to help other people. They are community oriented, right? And, but however, although you're community oriented, it seems like people see you as, yes, seeing other people as equals and doing your best to help where you can. But ultimately you think for yourself. You don't really make or allow other people to make decisions for you or to dictate like how you think and how you navigate your reality. You are very much so self-sourced, and, you know, people just describe you as someone who is naturally joyful. Like people would say, I've honestly never met someone who is like so content within themselves and someone who is just so authentically joyful. People would describe you as light. People would describe you as like, you don't bring heavy energy, and people leave interactions with you feeling very uplifted. And even if they came into the interaction feeling very heavy or triggered or whatever, even if you're not talking about whatever it is that, you know, feels heavy or whatever, they leave really light, right? If you leave light, that's a different story, right? But it feels like you're probably an empath, someone that feels other people's emotions, and you can help. Just by the very nature of your being, you help dislodge negative energy. Now, I'm hearing too, it's important to remind you guys as well. This didn't come up in pile one, so this is interesting. That, you know, by the pure brightness that you offer to other people, it's like on one hand, people love you so deeply, but don't be surprised when people also feel deeply triggered in your presence because, you know, they feel like you're someone that knows everything or that has it all going on. And people can have the tendency to compare themselves to you. Okay, so moving on to the next oracle, we have believe in yourself. So people would describe you as someone that believes in themselves above everything else. Check out pile one if you were guided to, man. People see you as someone that, again, does not go outside for their sense of well-being and their sense of worth as much as you can. Again, we all have these similar levels of worthiness and unworthiness that we're here to dislodge, right? Because, you know, the average levels of consciousness on the planet are, the average levels of consciousness on the planet are going to inevitably affect us. So of course, we're all going to have the dislodging and the undoing of the karmic knot of unworthiness. But ultimately people are like, this is someone that believes in themselves so much. Like, this is someone that doesn't allow their fears to get the best of them. You really teach by your being, right? You teach by what you be. You might even teach verbally, but ultimately I feel like you are someone that is very untethered. Like, you carry yourself very light. You feel like people would describe you as that phrase from the Bible or that saying from the Bible, like, this person is in the world, but they are not of this world. Again, I knew that was going to come up for every pile. I told pile one, I saw a lot of I saw the last two cards, or the last two piles. I saw the first card flip over, and in pile one I was getting energies too of like potentially beings that resonate with having explored different planets and other dimensions. And I was like, I feel like a lot of beings that are going to be drawn to this tarot session, these divination sessions on this channel, are definitely people that are aware of that and would identify with that. So I was like, let's see if it comes up in this one, and it just did. So yeah, people see you as being unstoppable. Like they would describe you as someone that has a lot going for them. They would describe you as someone that it's like even in your heaviest of moments, like there is a lightness about you. Like even when you are going through a rough patch or a rough time, like people would describe you as someone that, you know, they just see you rise and rise and rise again and again and again. And like there's a lot of power even in your sadness. You still exude such power and such grace. And yeah, people learn a lot from your evolution and from how you grow through things and how you navigate through things. But ultimately, people describe you as someone that is just such a joy to be around. And you naturally exude joy wherever you go. And, you know, some people have probably even told you, like, I'm just seeing a conversation happen of someone, you know, you sitting down with someone and them being like, yeah, I first saw you like here, and like, you know, I really wanted to get to know you, but I was like nervous, or, you know, I didn't know how to approach you. And like, whereas you might go to a party or something and, you know, meet a lot of people and feel very neutral about the situation. It's like there are several people within that same room that like remember you. You definitely stick out as someone that a lot of people want to get to know. And so people would describe you as that. Like they just see people gravitate towards you and want to be around you. And again, I think that did come up for this pile, is you know, triggering other people, being a little bit envious. And again, that has nothing to do with you. You know, things just seem so easy for you. Life seems very easy for you. And again, this has nothing to do with what you actually experience internally. This is just how you're just a badass, man. People just see you, again, navigating so graciously and want to know what that magic is, want to know what your secret is. So we're gonna get into the tarot, see what else Spirit has to say. So we have the Knight of Wands and we have the Three of Wands. So a lot of fire energy, especially with this B card. So you might have strong fire placements in your chart. And, you know, you might just be like, you know, if you're familiar with Ayurveda, you might describe yourself as like the Pitta, having a lot of Pitta dosha, a lot of fire energy. So, you know, the energy of fire is very transformative by nature. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if you've actually have been through quite a bit internally, probably even externally. And it's like you take, what does fire do? Like in alchemy, if you think of alchemy, it takes one substance and through the heat of purification, it evolves into something even more beautiful, even more valuable than what it previously was. So I feel like this is why you believe in yourself so much. This is why other people see you believe in yourself so much. They're like, like nothing can take this person down, and anything that happens, they just come back 10 times stronger. Right? So I feel like people would also describe you as, and I definitely resonate with this, so I feel like this is probably why this is coming up. Again, with all this fire, is like you are, you know, Pitta people are very intelligent, very intellectual. They love to learn and they love to teach. However, you know, fire by its very nature is very unstable, right? It's an unstable element. So if like someone pushes your button in the wrong way, man, it's like, whew, like, you know, don't want to be in that room or around them when they're hungry. So, you know, with this Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands, people see you moving on through life very quickly. You don't really get too comfortable. And again, it's because you're just so focused on your own path. And when something doesn't work, or when something's not working, you're not one to stick around to see how that's going to unfold, because you're so in tune with your intuition, right? You've had no choice, is what I'm hearing, getting to this point, to trust your intuition above the logical mind, or above, you know, what society's norms and rules and customs are. You have no problem moving on to the next thing when you feel like it's ready. And people might not always be ready for that too. So people describe you as someone who is always on to the next thing. Like you're very adventurous. You're a natural teacher is what I'm hearing. Again, because we have Sagittarius energy, we have Aries energy and Leo energy. This is very much the energy of standing out. And again, fire is all about transformation, and you do so. You do so very quickly. Again, I have a lot of advanced souls that are drawn to my content. That's one of the main traits of an advanced soul. Even if you don't have a lot of fire signs in your chart per se, you could still have a lot of these qualities that you're exuding, right? Yeah, and with the Three of Wands and the Knight of Wands, this kind of tells me the same story. You're always looking to the next adventure. Like you're not afraid to embark on a new journey because you believe in yourself so much. You believe that despite the obstacles, you know, it's not even like you're like, oh, I think I can do this. It's like, you know, within you, you know, you're always going to overcome it. You know, you're always going to prevail. And other people describe you in this way. Other people see you in this way. Other people feel like they don't even call you careless in the things that you do because they can feel the conviction behind your stare, behind your gaze. I'm also hearing people describe you as having a very penetrating gaze. I'm just seeing like a lion with like those eyes that just stared into the depths of your soul. It's like you are someone who's done so much to get to know yourself, and people feel this when they're around you. You feel like someone that people don't want to mess with, or someone that people don't want to get on your bad side. And I don't even think that you would even have one. But again, with all this fire I'm getting, it's like if you are provoked and, you know, someone is really testing your waters, like you are someone that people don't want to mess with. Even if they haven't seen that side, they're like, I can feel that that's in there. Like this person, you don't get to this place of, you know, feeling like you can take anything on for no reason. Like y'all have been through some shit, and you have seen time and time again, you've always risen, you've always come back, and you have ultimately gotten to a place where you see you don't need anyone. And this is true power. And you do start to recognize you don't need anyone, and you'll always be left off better regardless of who comes in and who leaves. So again, people really value their time, the time that they do have with you. Wow, very, very beautiful, very powerful, because ultimately people would describe you as someone that doesn't need anyone. And because of that, you seem to attract very high caliber people to you and towards you. One last thing, people would describe you in terms of romance, people would describe you as a heartbreaker. Again, this came through with pile one, but it seems like very hard to settle you down or to tie you down. Wouldn't be surprised if most of the beings or some of the beings drawn to this are into like open relationships or free relationships or romantic relationships where you don't label anything and you kind of make your own rules versus, you know, subjugating yourselves and the dynamic to traditional norms, etc. Yeah, very unconventional for a reason. You deserve it. You've earned it. You've pretty much had no choice. It's definitely written in your blueprint to be this very free, untethered soul. And man, it is working for you. It looks good on you. Let me just say. All right, last card. We have the Fool actually coming up in reverse. So people would describe you as someone, I want you guys to see this one. Yeah, as someone that, you know, people would describe you as someone that doesn't think before they make choices. People would describe you as being somewhat impulsive. Or again, we had that fiery energy come up. So maybe sometimes you've made decisions out of rage or decisions out of anger. But again, despite that, people are like, I don't know how this person does it, but they seem to come back 10 times stronger. And again, you are an advanced soul. You are, you have a lot of that transformative energy where you are extracting the nutrients from the lessons that life is bringing you. So even if they're like, wow, this person like seems so careless and so naive and so like irrational at some points, it's like they're like, but it always works out for them. Like again, because you have so much, like you have this belief in yourself. And again, how people see you and what's actually happening might not always be in alignment. So while people think that your decisions, while they would describe you as it being irrational, you are so in tune with realms that they have yet to even scratch the surface of. You're just like, all right, this is part of it. You know, I feel like to the core of you, you don't feel like you could do any wrong. And it's not coming from a place of arrogance. It's really coming from a place of, again, you have done this many times and you are in tune with a higher aspect of yourself that knows life is meant to be fun and an adventure. And you don't want to be tied down, and you don't, you know, our souls are naturally boundless. And so you, yeah, you exude that so much. So some people would be like, wow, this person, you know, there's someone that just makes really impulsive decisions, and they're very impulsive and kind of naive, or they don't think things through, but everything seems to work out for them all the time. It's actually quite inspiring, right? You're helping iron out that misperception of what it means to make decisions and how to make good decisions. Again, because even if you have made decisions before that seems like self-sabotaging in nature or whatever, it's like you're still learning from it. You learn from it. And so a lesson is never wasted as long as you are learning from it, right? But if you're, you know, not choosing to investigate or to look into these pitfalls or to explore, like, okay, I wonder if there was a different way to handle that. I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but I'm going to honor what needed to come through. I'm going to honor my healing. Like, you ultimately understand you can do no wrong, because you understand there's healing that we all need. We all come here for different reasons. We're all providing different reflections for one another. So yeah, ultimately people see you as a very boundless soul. They would describe you as someone who is here doing their own thing. You can't tie them down. You can't bring them down. And ultimately everything works out so good for these people, even more than, you know, anyone could have expected, even yourself. So very beautiful energies. Thank you for being here. Go ahead and check out my other channel. I have a year's worth of other tarot videos on there, pick a card readings, and I just decided recently to split my channels. So it's just Divination over here, but you can check out all of those as well, as if you resonate with my readings. I'm offering personal readings. I have a new 5-week personal one-on-one coaching program for spiritual development and just mentorship, etc. So yeah, if you feel called to any of those, go ahead and check those out, and I hope I see you guys soon. What's up, pile number 3? Here is your reading for how others would describe you. So we have 2 oracles that came up, and we also have 2 tarot cards that came up as well. So let's get right into these energies of how do other people describe you. So first you have Stargazer, set your sights higher. And it's interesting, I did see one of the tarot cards, so I'm going to cheat a little bit, which is never any accident. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out since I saw it too. I feel like these go hand in hand. So we have Stargazer, set your sights higher, and the Emperor in reverse. So how do other people see you, or how would they describe you to others? They would describe you as someone that has yet to like unearth their full potential. You might be a bit younger in age, or you just might be on a path where you are you're not in a rush, you're not in a hurry. It feels like you honestly have a very relaxed sense about you, like very serene, like him. It's like you're not in any rush, and it feels like you're someone, and this is how people would describe you. You're someone that has nothing to prove, or you seem like you're not trying to prove yourself to anyone. Like, you're very authentic. Even if you don't feel this way, even if you're like, gosh, I overthink everything, it's like ultimately you do end up settling in a place that honors your authenticity. But with this Emperor in reverse and this set your sights higher, people describe you as someone that has so much potential, and they feel like a lot of your potential is untapped. However, I feel like you exude this energy of understanding that it's going to manifest in its own way, in its own time, and you're not going to rush it. Yeah, with this Emperor in reverse too, people don't see you as someone that is trying to overly control their reality. Excuse me, just so I can get a clearer read on this energy, I'm going to flip over the rest. So we have Sun Love, and we have 2 of Wands and 7 of Swords. Okay, so depending on when you're drawn to this video, I feel like people are describing you as someone who is going through a period of self-reflection and a period of pause. You are kind of in a period where you are assessing where you are going to go next, or like what you're going to do next. And it feels like you're kind of like leaving it up to grace, and leaving it up to, like, you understand that this period of healing is just temporary with this Send Your Love card. People would describe you as someone that is, you're very used to excelling and succeeding at what it is you do. And so you can come across as being very critical, and almost very judgmental. And it's not even if this is something that you're not doing consciously, or you don't feel like you're judging or criticizing other people, the reason for this is because you just expect the best out of life and nothing less. And people describe you as this. So I'm hearing that you actually come across quite intimidating, that, people describe you as someone where they can feel triggered. They can feel very triggered in your presence, because I'm getting a lot of masculine energy and a lot of like third eye type of energy, where, the realm of the heart chakra is someone that resides mostly in that fourth density type of energy. That heart chakra energy is very compassionate, and it's very loving, and, sees all as equal, etc. You seem like an individual that is very more so in tune. Like, I'm getting a lot of air energy. So you tend to make decisions and see yourself and other people from, I don't want to say necessarily a logical standpoint, but you're very rooted more so in wisdom. So it's like when you're making decisions, it doesn't tend to be very warm in how you, or emotionally led. You don't make decisions by your emotions, is what other people would say. You make decisions from a place that can sometimes honestly feel cold to other people. Maybe you don't like the way that you leave relationships or whatever. It's like when you're done, it seems like you're just done and you're moving on to the next thing. It's like you don't stick around energies that ultimately feel like they don't fit in the bigger scheme of things. And so, sometimes people, I feel like this is also saying like your sights are so high that it becomes detrimental to your mission and how much you're able to exude. So it's like, no matter how powerful you are, it's like, people see you as someone that kind of could let up on themselves a little bit. So on one hand, this might be even divergent, like where some people, I'm getting a mixture, a combination of energy. So we might have had many people drawn to this pile in particular, but it's like on one hand, people are like, this person has so much untapped potential. And then on another hand, there can be some of you guys that people feel like your sights are so high that you never give yourself a chance to bask in your progress. You never give yourself a chance to really feel good about where you are now. It's like always on to the next thing, always on to the next thing, never truly appreciating how far it is that you've come. And again, it's because you expect so much out of this life. This is a very powerful soul where it feels like you just deeply understand, and people have probably already always told you this, is that you could sense that you were here for something big or something very particular. And so you just expect so much out of yourself that you can be very critical of yourself. And however we're treating ourselves is how we're treating other people. So, your level of self-honesty can be very triggering for other people, because they can hear you dissecting your own ways of working and your own perceptions and your own motives. They hear you dissecting it from such a neutral place, again, because it seems like you've done a lot of, I don't want to say disassociation, but it seems like you just are, I feel like this would be the group of people that would always be wanting to improve. And so they're always reading self-help. It's almost like you become overly regimented with what you think you need to do to achieve a certain state, to the point where you're not really enjoying life. And so I feel like in some senses, people feel like you could give yourself a break a little bit. They're like, this person is so incredible. This person is doing so well for themselves. This person has so much. However, it feels like you guys it's like grass is always greener type of mentality. You're like never satisfied. And so, yeah, always looking on to the next thing, always looking to the next adventure, always looking forward, right? Moving forward. And so I feel like this is just a group that is very critical. And you might have had caregivers or caretakers that were very critical of you, or like no matter what you did, you couldn't satisfy someone, or there was always something you could have done better. It's like they couldn't just appreciate you. This is the group where it's like your parents probably, unbeknownst to them, and, bless everyone's heart, making it through this fucking chaotic maze of life. but where the child wasn't honored, their childhood wasn't honored, or like you had to grow up really fast. And so breaking out of that like kind of survival mentality, yeah, is required to take this. You know, the Emperor in reverse can talk about controlling, it can talk about manipulation, or it can even talk about just, again, the lack of compassion, right? And so it might be because there's a subconscious cord, a subconscious thread in you of like, I have to prove I'm worthy. I have to prove I'm good enough, to your lovers, to your friends, or whatever it is. So I'm never going to settle. Like, I'm never, like, this is a type of group that is so regimented that you don't leave space for grace to come in, right? And I feel like other people, even if they're not seeing from the levels of perceptions that you are, I feel like ultimately most people can sense that there's a little bit of imbalance in terms of, you know, how you're navigating life. I'm getting like very protective energy. And again, this is nothing negative, and there's nothing bad about this, right? Just this might be something you're going through this week. Doesn't mean this is a lifetime thing. Maybe something is happening where you're going through a purge, or you have some sort of trigger in your external world at the moment that reminds you of a deep cord of unworthiness that roots all the way back to childhood. So it might feel very intense. You know, this is, at least when you're drawn to this video, this is how people are describing you as, you know, someone that just sees so much, like you feel so much of your potential and other people feel so much of it. And it's like, you know, relax, just let it unfold naturally. You know, it doesn't have to be so controlling. It doesn't have to feel like, you can actually enjoy the process, right? But ultimately people see you as someone that is going somewhere, and someone that has a big plan and big missions, a big mission, and you're really in tune with your calling. You have a gift. People describe you as someone that does not let anything stand in their way, right? It's like when there's an obstacle that comes up where most people might take a break or give up, it's like you're like, no, I'm not settling. I'm not going to settle. And maybe you even had some things happen in childhood that, you know, really set the foundation up for you to be this way. And I don't want this to seem like it's, you know, in any way saying that it's a negative thing. You know, people just, if anything, are just triggered because you have so much will. You have so much willpower and you're so aligned with that, that wisdom, that third eye center, where it's like you are not going to settle and you will not sleep until it's done, is what I'm hearing. But I am hearing people describe you to other people as someone, you know, people have so much love for you, and people know that ultimately you mean well, and you want to see other people thrive. You want to see other people do well as well. You want to see people get out of this survival mentality, just making it by, and you want to see everyone living abundantly and thriving. And so, you know, some people, I feel like, you just seem like a very direct person. I'm getting like King of Swords type of energy, Queen of Swords energy, where you can be so direct. And it's because, again, you have kind of, you have disidentified with the parts of you almost, and it almost does feel like, in a way, like you might be shaming like your humanity, you know. And I'm just guided to remind you guys that, you know, you are no less divine when you embrace your humanity. And that's part of the soul's lessons. Those are part of our soul lessons, are to embrace the entirety of the human experience, right? Through this very specific lens of perception that we're existing in. Let me see really quick if anything else is coming through. Yeah, ultimately people are like, this person just needs to relax a bit. This person just needs to watch like some Netflix or something. And again, this is not even, you know, you're on your own journey. We all are, right? So you can never do anything wrong. However, I'm just hearing people, and I'm hearing your guides say that this person could be enjoying the journey a bit more once they realize that, you know, to have such a grip hold on your life is actually creating more of that tension and that dis-ease. Like when you feel so much that you have to prove yourself, right? I'm proving I'm worthy. I am worthy. If you feel like you need to prove it, you can be sure it's your unworthiness that's talking, right? Someone that's worthy, someone that feels worthy, right? Because we're all worthy inherently, but it's like our experience of ourselves. Somebody who feels worthy and knows it's all going to work out. You know, it's so funny that, like, this dichotomy that when we kind of give up needing to prove our worthiness, that we're actually existing in this space where we can experience our worthiness, right? Life is so beautifully paradoxical, or paradoxical that way. So, yeah, people describe you as being on a motherfucking mission and a half and working with what you got. It's like, started from the bottom, now I'm here type of energy that I'm getting. And like you are just on a timeline where you're meant to achieve great things. However, people are, and I'm hearing your guides mostly come through and say this person can enjoy it more if they just relax and give grace some space to work through, and to not cut off your, there's some inner child wounding that can be healed at this time, through whatever triggers or experiences you're going through in your external reality. Again, having more compassion for the self is definitely how people would describe you. It's like someone, they would describe you as someone who is so in tune with the higher realms that you can forget that you're human sometimes, and have a heart and deserve as much as anyone else to experience your emotions and to experience grief when you need to experience sadness. Because at some point, I feel like you guys were taught to be ashamed of your emotions, or to not want to show your emotions or your sadness or whatever. But there's a lot of power. There's a lot of true power that is to be found and to be had when you are in tune. It goes from this to this, right? When we cut ourselves off from that pain and that, those travesties we experienced and didn't fully heal, we can kind of reside in this energy. So, this is part of it, man. But you're ultimately, your sights are set high for a reason. It's part of your blueprint. And this is just part of your story, just another chapter, just another phase, just another cycle. Cycles begin and end all the time. And we're all undoing our own karmic knots, which ultimately, helps humanity. So this just might be part of your gift and your offering for the planet. So again, nothing bad, nothing negative at all. You just expect a lot from this incarnation, and you can rest well that you will achieve it. All right, my friends, I hope this brought you something. Just know I have a year's worth of tarot pick a card readings on my primary channel. Link for everything you want to know is in the description. I offer personal readings. I also offer a 5-week coaching program where we work one-on-one together. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here for now. I hope I see you guys soon. What's up, pile number 4? Here's your reading for how others would describe you. Just so you know, I haven't looked at these yet. A few of them sometimes slip over when I'm shuffling, but I try not to tune into the energies too much, just so it can be fresh when I tune in with you guys. So we have 3 oracle cards that came out for you guys today, and we have 4 tarot cards that came out. Okay, so we're going to start with the angel and ancestors for how others would describe you. So first, we have Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. Wow, I have the most beautiful souls tuning into these readings. Man, you guys, it's such an honor. I'm getting goosebumps. It's such a blessing. You guys, people would describe you as someone that just follows their own soul. Someone that you are so in alignment and in tune with who you are and why you're here. And people would describe you, and people do describe you this way. They describe you as someone that is just so almost ethereal. This came up for all of the piles. So I've got some starseeds tuning in for sure. People see you as someone that is beyond this world, not from this world. People would probably describe you even as someone that is very open about your beliefs about like extraterrestrials or, just astrology. People would describe you as someone that's very in tune with those things. Very mystical is what I'm hearing. You just know, like you're a mystic, you're a true mystic. And all that is someone that's aware of the subtle energies, the subtle wavelengths and what makes up this physical universe. You're very in tune with the subtle realms. And people describe you to other people as being someone that really knows why they're here. And I'm hearing too that you're really good at helping other people understand why they're here as well. You are a natural teacher. You are very good at helping people identify their gifts and their talents. And you do so in a way that also seems very logical as well. Like you're not so in the clouds that you have lost your sense of your mission here on Earth. like this feels very grounded. This feels very earthbound, but at the same time beyond this level. You're very in tune with your multidimensionality. I feel like the people that are talking about you, at least right now, or people that are describing you, are people that are within these types of communities, because there is a lot of awareness coming through. I'm hearing a lot of people using very esoteric terminologies and beings that speak the same lexicon. So you might even be like within the realms where you're teaching this type of stuff, or people just know, like you're not ashamed of what it is that you know to be true from your relative perspective, and however you're guided to express the nature of the divine. You're really like people, you might be really well known in your communities or something, or you do tarot, you have tarot, you do divination or something where you're, healing or Reiki, like something that requires you to be very knowledgeable. Maybe you practice Ayurveda or something, but there's like people that are talking about you that are very also aware, very in tune with these types of terms and these realms. But overall, people just describe you as someone that knows why they're here, and that's so beautiful. Honestly, beautiful energy. We have mountains, stand your ground. So yeah, you are someone who has established a firm foundation and who you are and what it is that you're here to contribute at this time. People see you as being immovable, someone that can't be pushed around. Like you have a strong backbone, again, because you so deeply know why you're here. Like these are like my freedom fighters, or people, I feel like you guys, I'm getting a lot of fire. I'm feeling a lot of fire and like feisty. I'm feeling very like feisty energy. I feel like you guys are very stoic and very grounded, and people describe you in this way. It's like, look at this, how this guy's gazing, right? It's very piercing. It's very, like it's both powerful yet soft at the same time. Like you don't have anything to prove. You know why you're here. You know what you're here for. Very advanced soul, very advanced souls in this pile. It's like you have strong roots, and I feel like your moral compass is so strong. Like you're so sure of why you're here that making decisions is not hard for you. And you make your decisions a lot differently than other people. This is very like unconventional type of energy I'm getting too, or you don't place authority on the outside. You source your own sense of authority from your higher self and from your soul self, right? It's like people describe you as someone that, what is the phrase, like leaves no prisoners or takes no prisoners or whatever. Not saying y'all are out here like killing people. It's not what I'm getting at all. But like you're so devoted to your spiritual awareness and how you can contribute that to the planet as well in your own authentic way, that you're strong in your foundation, you're strong in your morals, you're strong in your values. And the reason why they're so strong is because you have investigated what those are for yourself. You haven't blindly accepted them. So really powerful off the jump. Like people describe the way you talk, people describe the way you carry yourself, people, describe you as someone who just like is so confident. You have I'm seeing someone who has their shoulders back and their head held high, their chest, their heart is leading the way. Your heart literally, physically looks like it's leading the way. And ultimately, the heart is the gateway to the soul self and grounding that on the planet. So, quite metaphorically as well, your heart leads the way. And this is how a lot of people describe you. You're so strong. You might have been through a lot too, mountains in general. Mountains weather the most storms. They have seen the most storms, and that's why they are also so beautiful, and people just love to bask in their beauty, and people like want to climb them. People want to like pick at them, pick at their brain. They want to scale to the tippity top where the mountain, what's normal for the mountain is like a beautiful glimpse for other people. It's like people just want a taste of how you see reality, because it seems like you're just so gracious and you're so powerful and you're so sure. I keep hearing people say that this person is so sure of themselves. And I'm getting very emotional too. So I feel like you guys have been through a lot. I feel like, again, we had that weathered a lot of storms. You have come so far. in your journey and who it is that you are, that people are proud of you. People are like, man, I'm so proud of this person. Maybe family, maybe friends, maybe people that know you intimately have seen you go through the heaviest of things and consistently come out purified, better, brighter, lighter, more wise. You are such a wise individual, and people describe your energy in this way, like wise beyond your years, or like, how did this, I actually had a family member say this to me the other day, so this is why I'm sure it's coming through, but like, how did this 150-year-old like person get into this like young body, right? You just have, you're extremely powerful. And, you know, for a lack of better phrase or words, that's what people would say. Next, we have self-reflection. So yeah, people describe you as someone who's very introspective. And this is one of your gifts, right? The mountain, you know, reminds me of the hermit energy. The hermit, you know, travels on the top of this mountain. And that's what makes the hermit, you know, a teacher and a guide and a mentor, is because the hermit is not afraid to walk alone. You are not afraid for that, you know, tough self-reflection at times. You are not afraid to face yourself. And that's why you exude so much power so effortlessly. And, like, there's nothing someone could tell you that would surprise you. And people kind of sense that when they're around you. They sense that you have seen some darkness. You've met darkness within and without. And that's what aids your power, right? I think Kyle Cease is the one that uses this example. When you're just all light and all about that airy-fairy shit, you have access to this much power. But when you are not afraid to delve into the underworld, which we all have to eventually, you have access to so much power, right? And the sixth dimension on the level of the soul's blueprint, you know, the beings that are working with us behind the scenes don't see something as being like light and dark aren't equated to positive and negative in the sense that the human brain has created it to be, like good or bad. All aspects of it are all ushering us home. Sometimes we need those shadowy reflections, right, in order to have a certain activation and a certain up-leveling and a certain upgrading that we can't always get when it's all airy-fairy and shit, you know? And so people really do sense, I feel like people don't want to test you. And again, you don't exude something like, you know, I don't think you purposely or intentionally exude don't fuck with me energy, but people don't want to fuck with you. People don't want to be on your bad side. People don't want to see that, because ultimately I feel like they know that a person like you could not be provoked and should not be provoked, because it's like you're fearless. You've seen a lot worse than what most people have access to. So yeah, people have incredible things to say about you, and all of it has to do around this, like, you're very mysterious, you're very powerful, you are like, I want to say like very shadowy, but like magnetic. You're very deep. You have a lot of depth about you. People feel like you're someone that they could talk to for hours on end. And there's a lot of healing that happens when people are around you, right? I'm thinking of like a hike or whatever, or yeah, when you go on a hike and that energy you get when you've like, you know, hearing something about going on a psychedelic trip or when you go into the woods, but you know, that energy you feel when you just feel so transformed. When you go into something feeling really heavy and like you feel hopeless, and then you leave and you're like, oh my God, you feel so renewed, but you understood the only reason you're able to meet heaven is because you went through the underworld, right? And so, you know, people feel that around you. People feel that this kind of Plutonian, like very Scorpio kind of energy, like very Phoenix rising. Nothing can keep you down. So let's see. What does the tarot have to say? We also have Nine of Wands. We have Five of Swords. I'm going to tackle the Nine of Wands first. Yeah, very determined, right? One foot after another. I always see a staircase when the Nine of Wands energy comes up. It's like you feel like, it seems like you're always progressing, and you intuit. Sorry if you can hear that. I don't know what's going on outside. It was trash day today, so some people are moving their trash cans. It feels like you feel close. I don't know why this is coming through. You feel close, or you're close to something. You're close to some sort of breakthrough or some sort of threshold, or this this is just saying that you break a lot of thresholds very, very rapidly. You're consistently upgrading. You're consistently meeting new, like breaking through paradigms. Like when most people would give up, it's like you are taking that final step with this Five of Swords. And I feel like ultimately you're a being that doesn't allow, again, it's so interesting that we have this man back here standing on top of a mountain. And it's almost like, I don't know if you can see this, but it looks like there's like a stream. There's like a soul stream coming down. I feel like where most people would give up, it's like you're like, I'm going to push through a little bit because I know on the other side is my liberation. There's also like blood in the background. So I'm just hearing that, with the blood in the background, this just reiterates the notion that you've lost a lot of blood throughout your life, or even if it's not like physical injuries, like you have been humbled many, 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 many times throughout this incarnation. And, I'm getting this sense that maybe you have lost, like you've dealt with death a lot, or you have a very sobered perspective of reality that doesn't allow you to, you don't slip into victim mentality very easily. And, you persevere when others would be likely to give up. And that's how other people describe you. Like, this is someone that at all costs, that's what it was coming through. At all costs, with all this blood, this person makes it. This person will make it. This person succeeds at all costs all the time. So your last two tarot cards are the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So we have the self-reflection and the Nine of Pentacles coming up in reverse. And they're, the Nine of Pentacles landed right beneath this. So if anything, I feel like this is people, it's almost kind of similar to the pile before, but it's almost like people would describe you as someone that could use a little self-care, man. The 9 cards are cards about being self-sourced. And you guys seem very aware and like self-sourced in the sense of like self-sufficiency in terms of your material needs, your emotional needs being met. Like you're so in tune with why you're here. And it feels like kind of similar energies. I am getting bleeding over from the previous pile, but this is just saying that, you can take a break. You can, what does that even mean? Take a break. Like, you're not going to lose anything when you take time to pause and when you take time to, nourish yourself I'm getting this is a very earthly kind of level of like getting massages or getting like Reiki done or something that actually has to do with your physicality of taking care of yourself a bit better. Maybe you have a hard time being embodied. It's so funny because that actually came up in the beginning that no, you are pretty earthbound as well. I feel like this is, maybe you might be going through a time period where that self-care just needs to go up a bit more. Maybe that's something you've been neglecting is, taking better care of your health or something, or eating better foods or whatever it is. Okay. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it clearly. This tells the story completely. I feel like when you get to the point of overthinking things, or when you get into like you're overly controlling, or you're trying to like push through something without actually allowing, like you can understand from a soul's perspective and from like consciously you can understand a lot. You're very philosophical. We have 2 prominent fire cards coming up. So these are like Aries, Leos, Sagittarians. You guys are very transformative by nature. Even if you don't have strong prominent signs, you might just have a lot of Pitta energy coming through. A lot of air also coming through. So it's like when you get too wrapped up in I should be here and I'm not here yet and I get this, but why aren't I here yet? It's like you need to honor. People describe you as someone that needs to honor their healing and needs to take care of themselves better and needs to do more self-care because you can so easily provide things or perspectives. You're there for other people, and I'm hearing you don't allow other people to be there as much for you. And, you know, I'm not surprised. You've made it through a lot of things, and I feel like you've done so on your own. Whether that's emotional, whether that's physical, whatever it is, like I'm getting this energy of you've had no choice but to persevere. You've had no other choice but to do this. However, you're at a point where, you know, there is some like nervous system healing that is required at this time. But ultimately, it's like when you start to get a little bit too in your head about shoulds, coulds, woulds, that's when you notice an immediate pause on things running smoothly because you are so advanced. It's like spirit doesn't let the slightest deviant for these advanced souls because you are here for a very specific mission on earth at this time. So it's like when you forget to have grace for yourself, forgetting to have grace for yourself means you're very likely to not have grace for other people. So spirit wants to keep you in a space of being very gracious and understanding things are a process, understanding perfection doesn't exist. So I'm just hearing that when you get too heady and when you don't allot yourself the required time to just, you know, the 5 cards are cards that talk about just kind of assessing where you're at. Okay, so I'm hearing that when logic and reason tries to come in above your soul, that's when you're humbled. That's when you get an experience where you're humbled. And, you know, it's like when things start to go good and you start to outsource your happiness onto those good things, that's when it's taken away, right? Or it's like spirit doesn't let you get off your path too much, and people see this. People see you navigating things so graciously. I'm just seeing the story of people see you always coming out on top. People see you as someone that is always reestablishing their sense of self. It's like you meet a challenge, you meet something, you go into self-reflection, you see where you're giving your power away, you see where you were, you know, outsourcing your sense of happiness or whatever, and then you fix it. You come out on top every single time. You come out even better. You come out even more powerful, even more strong, even more certain in yourself and your direction, right? You are a natural teacher. You're a natural guide for other beings. And people describe you as someone they learn so much from naturally by how you navigate your life and how you talk about it, how you describe it. I'm not sure if you guys have like things or platforms where some of you guys are sharing your wisdom, but people just naturally learn so much from you. You couldn't help being a teacher even if you tried, because you're always on to the next thing. And again, like the universe has your back, man. You were here for a very specific reason. So people might see you as trying new things a lot or doing new things a lot, and you know, stepping onto all different pathways. However, it's like you look for the click. You don't make your decisions externally. Again, you search for the click in relationships. You search for it to feel right. And so that's what distinguishes you against most people. People are like, I don't know how this person makes decisions, but when they do, when it's aligned, man, they see the power of alignment through you. They see what the power of inner alignment does and aligning with the right people, the right job opportunities, careers, whatever. People through you see the power of alignment through your expression, and how no matter what, it's like they see you on a consistently up-leveling, consistently upgrading, consistently getting better and better. And again, that's because you know how to extract the juice. You know how to extract the nutrients and the lessons of where life is guiding you. You are very good at intuiting, you know, the puzzle piece you are here to play in the lives of other people too. It's like things just roll off of you very quite naturally. And again, it's because you've done a lot of self-reflection, a lot of introspection, a lot of introspecting. And again, it's like you heed the nudges from the universe so well. It's like you don't get very far out of alignment before spirit's like, all right, we got to switch something up, because like we are just prepping you for bigger. We are prepping you for an extremely, I'm just seeing like audiences, like you, this is a type of group that is here to affect the lives of many people in a very specific way. So it's like spirit is really putting you through the ringer, really putting you through that process of purification for good reason. It's because with great power, I'm going to say it, comes great responsibility. So thank you guys for being here. This is beautiful energy. I hope you guys got something from this. If you resonate with my readings and you're new here, know that I have about a year's worth of tarot readings on my primary channel. It just felt like it was time to separate my my teachings and my content, that type of content, with my divination. So everything you might want to know about, you know, my 5-week one-on-one coaching program or divination sessions, you can find that in the description box. Leave a comment, give this video a thumbs up. I hope I see you soon.